We don't want all this stuff. We don't want all this. We want manual cars, okay? Who drives an automatic anyway?
What is this?
This extra long cable, only because you guys wanted an automatic. Actually, this is a waste.
I cry. Everyone's missing the point. You know, that's part of the fun.
This is the pedal, the brake pedal for a manual. And this is the brake pedal for an automatic. You can see where you press the brake. This is a lot wider than this one. So obviously we're gonna swap this one out. This allows us to have more space for the third pedal. That's the brake booster. And right next door, right in that little slot right there, that's where the master cylinder for the clutch is gonna sit. I got the e-brake exactly where I want it. I did some testing. It's perfect. The center console fits nice. I have it where it's engaging. And if you take a look here, I didn't have enough tension. So if you're missing a 10 mil socket, okay, this is a 3/8 10 mil Craftsman. If it's missing, we have it. So, okay, and you can see it's engaged right now, and you can see I still could go a little bit more. I could tighten this a little bit more than that. Will I change this out later? Maybe I'll machine something in the lathe, especially to fit in here. So here is the clutch pedal, and this is what I was talking about. The master cylinder is going to sit right in between here, okay? The center of it, it's gonna sit here, and the two bolts are gonna come through the firewall, and it bolts down through the inside. And this is what is looking underneath. You can see we have the e-brake is engaged right now. There's a lot of tension on here right now. It's engaged. We have the shifter linkage, and we have some of the bolts coming through. I kind of just picked these random bolts that I had laying around just to mock everything up. I'm getting ready to pick up some new bolts. All right guys, so I wanted to show you what I got going on here. So I decided to cut myself some pieces of aluminum square tubing, okay, to sit over the 3D printed parts that I made for the e-brake. So this is gonna sit like this, right over, you see, I printed it so it sits in the inside, okay? And now I have the added strength of the aluminum. And so let me explain this. So if I was to just use the aluminum square tubing, it would move on me, possibly rattle, it would not sit in the right spot. But now since I 3D printed the inserts, because originally I was gonna just run the ABS inserts, but I decided, let me step it up a notch, let me get some aluminum square tubing for strength, and then we're gonna use the spacer to hold things in place. So this is how it's gonna fit. It's gonna keep everything from moving out of place. So I'm just gonna be using some glue on here just to kind of hold things into place. So when I flip this, it doesn't fall all over the inside of the vehicle. All right, so here it is. It's installed. It feels very firm. It's not going anywhere. We got the space underneath that we needed to come up to the correct height, and it's nice and secured. Now what I'm gonna do is I am gonna work on this spacer right here. I was using this 3/8 10mm socket to pick up some of the slack, but I'm gonna take this off and create this spacer over here. Alright guys, so here is the piece. It's done, it is machined. I made it on the lathe, and let's see how it fits. You can see it's pretty, it's almost like, it's pretty perfect, because in order for me to be able to put it on, I have to actually thread it on, because it's like, it's so precise. It's insane. Let's send it home, let's tighten it one last time and see if we have a e-brake. Alright, let's see if it works. Beautiful. You can see there's plenty of space, it's already locking in place. Nice. Go ahead and engage and disengage. Here we have the automatic flange that goes to the back of the drive shaft, and this is the manual one. And now I'm going to take some measurements, but they look to be the same to me. So far, if you line this up with this, you can see they look like they're the same size, they're the same length. So I'm going to measure the inside of this and get a good idea, so you guys can know, if you're doing one of these, exactly what to do. Okay, so from the bottom, from the top of this to the bottom of here, we have 44.59 mils, and we have, it looks like it's the same, is exactly the same. Okay, so now we know all you have to do is go to Z1 Motorsports, buy one of these manual ones. These are the same from a 350Z, a G35, a G37, and a 370Z manual. This is the same exact part. I ordered this. That's all you have to do, is just swap this out. You're gonna have to use the puller, as you saw in the video, and once you pull it out, you trim that bolt that's really long for the pinion. And let's go ahead and install this and see how it works. So this is the puller I use. It's a slide hammer puller. Now you could use a different style, one that you attach it to the back of the flange and then you insert the bolt in the center until it extracts it out. But I just used a slide hammer. It was a pain to do it, but it was the easiest thing and the quickest to get the job done. The drive shaft is installed. It's looking really good. Now I'm gonna go back and tighten everything, because I kind of just mocked it up here just to make sure everything was gonna fit, and it looks like it fits just fine. And let me show you what the transmission looks like. So everything fits how it's supposed to. As long as you're using the manual drive shaft, it's gonna be just fine. So I decided to wait for the last thing to do is to install the clutch pedal, because it's going to be a pain in the ass. And let me show you what I am talking about. If you look up here, in this bracket, there's a bracket that mounts to the top. I have to cut that away to make room for the clutch pedal. Before I make things a little bit tighter in here, I have to run this cable and extend it for the e-brake. This is where the e-brake was, so I have to run it all the way to here. So I'm gonna do that first and then go ahead and start chopping things up. I cut that bracket away, and there is plenty of space now to install the pedal. So I also took off some of that insulation. I ripped it off of there because I wanted it to sit nice and flush, and some of it was getting in the way. The hardest thing is going to be trying to get the pedal at the right height and drilling everything and marking everything. So I think I'm going to come up with a system so we could get it right the first time, because there is not much room for error here. So I want to make sure the pedal's not crooked or anything when I do this. Alright guys, so let me show you what I got going on. I installed a self-tapper all the way in the top, way in the top of this bracket. It's way up there. It's into the firewall, into the top side of it. But what that allows me to do is place the pedal exactly. You see it's kind of hanging by the self-tapper. I could let go of this pedal and move it around, but what it lets me do is place the pedal exactly where I want it. So right here it's pressed in, and I can see if it's going to be too far to the left or to the right or exactly where I want it, and I could make my marks and then start to drill. So we have some markings. They are not the best. It was really tough to get in there. Okay, I definitely have the lower right dot on there. You could kind of see it in the distance there, and I have the radius around the master cylinder where it goes. So what I'm going to do now is create a template, set it over this, and it should line up perfectly and give me the exact location for all the holes I have to drill. Alright, so I have the template on there, and I have the first mark down here already lined up in the center. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it a little bit better with some red. And then I'm going to do the top left corner. This is a corner I could not get a mark on. Okay. And then I guess I'm going to just paint the center of this. So now I'm going to make a second template. So here we have the template in place. You can see the two red marks, and in the center, since I painted it red behind it, now I'm gonna go with the white Sharpie. So in the center you have where the master cylinder comes through, where the push rod comes through. You have the two bolts that's gonna secure the pedal and the master cylinder together, and we should be ready to go. Now I'm gonna make sure, I'm gonna go through the other side of the engine bay and make sure there's nothing gonna be in the way. I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of clearance, and then we could start drilling. Alright guys, so I'm only missing one more bolt and we're done. Now we have 3 pedals. Alright, so the time has come to run the lines for the clutch, and I have to remove absolutely everything from here because it routes through the bottom of this brake booster. So I have to take the brake booster off, take all of this out of the way so I can route it properly. So we have the booster out of the way. We have plenty of space now, and the hose is going to be routed. The line's going to be routed from here, from this side, all the way underneath. It goes underneath the booster, and I'm going to have to drill a hole right through the top of this firewall right there. And since everything's out of here now, I get to paint everything because we did this side black, this is still blue. So I ended up making something else. For the clutch pedal, I did not have this pin that sits in between the push lever and the clutch pedal. I didn't have the pin. I didn't want to wait for it. I didn't want to go hunt for it, so I just made one on the lathe. I got to run a brace that holds the whole pedal in place. The 2 bolts are here. I need to run one towards the top. So now I am going to, I already have a hole drill, but I am going to run a bolt from the top of the firewall, and I'm going to show you in the other side what it looks like. You can see I have the booster out. That bolt that I'm going to run has to go right through there, okay? I have removed the windshield wiper motor. Look at all the space you have in here. I painted inside here. I have to paint all of this area now. But first, I am going to drill so then I could cover this up with paint so it doesn't rust. And I'm going to run a bolt through it. That bolt's going to hold the top of the pedal. Here we have the windshield wiper motor. Basically, if you don't have one of these tools to pull off the windshield wiper itself, you're going to have a heck of a time. You need to extract it out. You need one of these tools, and basically what it does is it pinches underneath the windshield wiper, and you twist this and it pulls it up. This side fought me the whole time, so I had to basically take the bracket loose once I had this side off, take the whole thing off, and I pulled it off here on the floor because I still couldn't get it off. You shouldn't have to remove all this to run a bolt here. I am doing this to show you guys, and also I want to paint all up in here since we're doing a color change on the vehicle, but you should not have to do this. There's enough space that you can run the bolt underneath all this. You could kind of pry it up and run the bolt, and you do not need to do this. But if you choose to, good luck to you because it is a pain in the ass. So here's a quick update of everything that's happened. So the transmission is in, everything has been swapped over as of this point. The lines going from the master cylinder has been routed, everything is good, okay? We have an e-brake, we have the drive shaft, we have the shifter, we have the clutch pedal. Everything has been basically manual swapped. I did the PCM, I did the BCM, the keys program, but there's still so much to do. I have to bleed the brake lines once I do all this. I have to bleed the clutch pedal. I ordered the exhaust. It's about to get here. It's probably gonna be here in the next 3 or 4 days. There's still so much to do. I'm gonna finish this video right here and post this, and in the next video we should be driving that vehicle. We should be taking it down the road and test driving it.